What's going on, guys? I'm not a gambling man, but if I was, I would say that Jake Paul is going to win his next fight against the Spider, Anderson Silva, on October 29th. This is a big deal. It's a big step up for Jake Paul fighting the Spider, the legend. We all know that Jake scouts out retired fighters or guys that are not dialed into the fight scene. Nate Robinson, 11 years older. Ben Askren, crazy out of shape, 11 years older. Tyrone Woodley, still a good fighter, could throw his hands well, put on a good show in the first fight, in my opinion. 13 years older. Now Anderson Silva, who is one of the best fighters ever to step up in the UFC with the record for the most title wins or the most consecutive victories in the UFC. Fact is, Anderson Silva is 47. I'm not saying he still can't fight. I'm not saying he's not in shape. We don't know. But again, he's 47. However, he has a distinguished boxing career beating Chavez Jr. We all know that Chavez Jr. wasn't at his best form, but he's still a high-level technical boxer when he was in his prime and fighting the right way. So it's a big step up for Jake Paul. But here's the question though. Are these contracts rigged? Is there a no knockout clause between Jake Paul and Anderson Silva? What happens if Anderson stings Jake, puts him into a funky chicken, into the leg wobble? Does he have to pull back? Is he limited in what types of punches he can throw? In other words, power punches versus jabs or power punches versus light shots. Is that in the contract? We never know how these things are written. So I want to see what these contracts look like after this show or after these fights are over. That's what I'm really curious about, because clearly he's hunting for guys that he knows he can beat that are at the end of their careers or are not high-level accomplished boxers. Now, training-wise, Anderson Silva has 1 month to prepare for this fight. But the good thing about that is Anderson Silva, because he's such an accomplished fighter, would have connections with some of the best trainers in the world. Yes, they're probably UFC fighters, but a lot of these trainers have the connections to get Anderson Silva in to train for free. Whereas Jake Paul would have hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the best trainers. He brings hype into the gym, same way that Anderson Silva does. So he'll have, again, a great team that's always been pushing him to train, but will he need it depending on what that contract clause is with Anderson Silva? So I think they'll both get decent training. The key for Anderson though is that he doesn't want to overtrain. He wants to just refine his skills. Has he been training? We don't know. Is 30 days enough? We're gonna find out. So the key is what has he been doing up to this point to help him in the next month? The other question is, does Anderson Silva need the money, or is he doing this just out of passion because he wants to get back in the ring? He's made a lot of money in his career. Does he need more? I don't know, but I'm curious to know what his main incentive is for this fight. Truth of the matter is, Jake Paul is clearly all about the hype and the money in these types of fights. He brings hype to the boxing scene. And the truth is, Anderson Silva is his biggest competition yet. I want him to step up. I want him to fight. And I want him to show Jake Paul what it's like to get touched by somebody with heavy hands, with good boxing skill, to wake him up, to show him what kind of skill is actually out there when you step up to a guy like Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva, don't come out there, man, with just money on your mind. I want you to make a statement. We all do, because we think it's time for that. If you guys enjoyed this type of video, please leave me a comment. I want to know, what do you guys think? Are these contracts rigged? Would you like to see a copy of these contracts? Is it getting too out of control? Leave me a comment with all of those and we're going to find out. I think it's crucial for us to get an understanding of what's happening here, but also to know how you think these fights are going to turn out.